Hey gang, Uncle Todd here, and we're up to episode 3 of Good Omens. 3 down, 3 to go. Anyways, we open with an angel, very low grade, never been on Earth before. He's sent down to check out on this miracle where Azraphale made two people fall in love. But as she is rather inexperienced, it doesn't go well for her. Meanwhile, Azraphale finally gets the car keys from Crowley. Crowley agrees to watch the shop, and Crowley heads down to Edinburgh, where he sees the Resurrectionist pub, goes in and pretending to be a reporter. He's got the little thing in his little hat and all that stuff, like a reporter from a 30s film. Anyway, while he's doing this, we're getting flashbacks to when he and Crowley were in Edinburgh back in, I'm going to assume, Edwardian age, where they come upon a woman named Elspeth. They originally were there to see the statue of Gabriel that had been put in. It looks just like him. And they meet a young girl named Elspeth who's stealing a body. Azraphale wants her to not do this, and Crowley's more than happy to help her along. And they get to the doctor who she's going to sell it to. And Azraphale causes the body to putrefy in the barrel that they were keeping it in. Then he learns that from the doctor that they actually, it's important to sell, for him to buy bodies so he can teach his students anatomy. It's illegal, but it's the only way they can learn. He shows us by showing them a tumor he removed from a 7-year-old boy. Boy didn't make it. So Azraphale goes to find Elspeth, who's with her friend, and the whole reason they were trying to steal a body was because they are indigenous and they need a place to stay and they need money for that and to eat food. So he and Crowley go back to the graveyard with them. They're disinterring another body. When they open it, it's real fresh. And they get spooked, accidentally triggering, in a grave nearby, a booby trap that rich people can rig up to keep their bodies from being stolen. And Elspeth's friends hit. And they hide from the watchman, and Elspeth dies. Or not, Elspeth's friend dies. And left with nothing else, she takes her friend's body and sells it to the resurrectionist, the doctor, who gives her £5. Usually you can get 7 to 8, but he's only going to give her 5. And she swipes a bottle of laudanum. Now, laudanum can be used to like a depressant, but in large quantities, it's also a poison. So she goes back to the crypt where they hid, and she plans to down the laudanum. And when Crowley and Azraphale show up, she shows them the £5 and wants them to bury her somewhere where she won't get dug up. And then Crowley drinks the laudanum, and he's flying from it. And he shrinks down real small. And then he grows real huge. And he tells Elspeth that she can't kill herself. It's wrong. She'll go to hell. And he asks Azraphale how much money Azraphale has. Azraphale has like 90 guineas. And he has her give it to her. And tells her, go buy a farm and be good. Don't pretend to be good. be good. And she promises and leaves. And at this point, because Crowley's done a good thing, although he swears it's because he was flying high on laudanum, he gets pulled back to hell for a while. Back in modern day, Azraphale's at the Resurrectionist pub and learns that Gabriel was there with someone else, a Mason. He assumes they were both Masons. There's a lodge next door. He goes to the cemetery where he sees it's the same one with the statue of Gabriel. Meanwhile, back at the bookshop, Crowley causes a rainstorm to get Nina and Maggie together. Unfortunately, he had it rain too hard, and as they're almost there to admit it to each other, the awning they're standing under rips apart and they're doused and they separate. Then Shanks shows up. Now she can't enter the bookshop because it's a holy place because of Azraphale. Crowley can because he's gotten permission. And she tells him she knows Gabriel was in there somewhere. Although she sees Gabriel as Jim, she doesn't recognize him, but she can smell Gabriel. He's in there somewhere. And lets him know Hell is starting to suspect this, and that if he doesn't produce Gabriel for them, they might just declare war on Azraphale. Well, that's not good. Azraphale calls Crowley, tells him about the pub and the statue, and then after Crowley hangs up, he's talking about the rain and he mentions tempest, and this causes Gabriel to go into a trance where he talks about destruction, dead coming back to life, Armageddon. And then he snaps out of it. And Crowley is not sure what to do. And they kind of end it there. Another good episode. The mystery's intriguing. I originally thought Crowley and Azraphale were going to turn out to have been the historical Burke and Hare, but apparently it didn't go that direction, which would have been very interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of good moments in it, like in the beginning where the angel is trying to figure out how to act human. She is in a constable's uniform, but it's all white. And she goes to talk to Nina and whips out her pad and pen and asks her, how's her love life going? And of course, Nina goes, it's none of your damn business. Yeah, a lot of good humor. And of course, Azraphale gets accosted by two tough guys in the cemetery. But being an angel, they don't beat him up and actually let him use one of their phones, which doesn't really work. He's got no minutes. And Azraphale calls Crowley on it. And then when he gives it back to him, it's brand new. It's connected to everything. It's a miracle. But yeah, pretty good episode. I'm really interested to see how this thing's going to work out. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.